Tartuffe by Molière. Act I seen I come, flipot and let me get away. You hurry so, I hardly can attend you. Then don't, my daughter-in-law, stay where you are. I can dispense with your polite attentions. We're only paying what is due you, mother. Why must you go away in such a hurry? Because I can't endure your carryings on, and no one takes the slightest pains to please me. I leave your house, I tell you, quite disgusted. You do the opposite of my instructions. You've no respect for anything. Each one must have his say. It's perfect pandemonium. If you're a servant wench, my girl, and much too full of gab, and too impertinent and free with your advice on all occasions. But you're a fool, my boy. F-O-O-L just spells your name. Let grandma tell you that I've said 100 times to my poor son, your father, that you'd never come to good or give him anything but plague and torment. I think, oh dearie me, his little sister. You're all demureness, butter wouldn't melt in your mouth, one would think to look at you. Still what as though, they say. You know the proverb, and I don't like your doings on the sly. But mother, daughter, by your leave, your conduct in everything is altogether wrong. You ought to set a good example for them. Their dear departed mother did much better. You are extravagant, and it offends me to see you always decked out like a princess. A woman who would please her husband's eyes alone wants no such wealth of fineries. But madam, after all, sir, as for you, the lady's brother, I esteem you highly, love and respect you. But sir, all the same, if I were in my son's, her husband's place, I'd urgently entreat you not to come within our doors. You preach a way of living that decent people cannot tolerate. I'm rather frank with you, but that's my way. I don't mince matters when I mean a thing. Mr. Tartuffe, your friend, is mighty lucky. He is a holy man, and must be heeded. I can't endure, with any show of patience, to hear a scatterbrains like you attack him. What? Shall I let a bigot criticasta come and usurp a tyrant's power here? And shall we never dare amuse ourselves till this fine gentleman deigns to consent? If we must hawk to him, and heed his maxims, there's not a thing we do, but what's a crime. He censures everything, this zealous copper. And all he censures is well censured too. He wants to guide you on the way to heaven. My son should train you all to love him well. No, madam, look you, nothing, not my father nor anything, can make me tolerate him. I should belie my feelings not to say so. His actions rouse my wrath at every turn, and I foresee that there must come of it an open rupture with this sneaking scoundrel. Besides, 'tis downright scandalous to see this unknown upstart master of the house, this vagabond who hadn't, when he came, shoes to his feet or clothing worth 6 farthings, and who so far forgets his place as now to censure everything and rule the roost. Mercy sakes alive, things would go better if all were governed by his pious orders. He passes for a saint in your opinion. In fact, he's nothing but a hypocrite. Just listen to her tongue. I wouldn't trust him, nor yet his Lawrence, without bonds and surety. I don't know what the servant's character may be, but I can guarantee the master a holy man. You hate him and reject him because he tells home truths to all of you. 'Tis sin alone that moves his heart to anger, and heaven's interest is his only motive. Of course. But why, especially of late, can he let nobody come near the house? Is heaven offended at a civil call that he should make so great a fuss about it? I'll tell you, if you like, just what I think, pointing to Elmira. Upon my word, he's jealous of our mistress. You hold your tongue, and think what you are saying. He's not alone in censuring these visits, the turmoil that attends your sort of people, their carriages forever at the door, and all their noisy footmen, flocked together, annoy the neighborhood and raise a scandal. I'd gladly think there's nothing really wrong, but it makes talk, and that's not as it should be. Madam, can you hope to keep folks' tongues from wagging? It would be a grievous thing if, for the fear of idle talk about us, we had to sacrifice our friends. No, even if we could bring ourselves to do it, think you that everyone would then be silenced? Against backbiting there is no defense, so let us try to live in innocence, to silly tattle pay no heed at all, and leave the gossips free to vent their gall. Our neighbor Daphne and her little husband must be the ones who slander us, I'm thinking. Those whose own conduct's most ridiculous are always quickest to speak ill of others. They never fail to seize at once upon the slightest hint of any love affair, and spread the news of it with glee, and give it the character they'd have the world believe in. By others' actions, painted in their colors, they hope to justify their own. They think, in the false hope of some resemblance, either to make their own intrigues seem innocent, or else to make their neighbors share the blame which they are loaded with by everybody. These arguments are nothing to the purpose. Orante, we all know, lives a perfect life, her thoughts are all of heaven, and I have heard that she condemns the company you keep. O admirable paten, virtuous dame, she lives the model of austerity, but age has brought this piety upon her, and she's a prude, now she can't help herself. As long as she could capture men's attentions, she made the most of her advantages. But now she sees her beauty vanishing, she wants to leave the world, that's leaving her. And in the specious veil of haughty virtue, she'd hide the weakness of her worn-out charms. That is the way with all your old coquettes. They find it hard to see their lovers leave them, and thus abandoned, their fall-on estate can find no occupation but a prude's. These pious dames, in their austerity, must cop at everything, and pardon nothing. They loudly blame their neighbor's way of living, not for religion's sake, but out of envy, because they can't endure to see another enjoy the pleasures age has weaned them from. To Elmira, that's the kind of rigmarole to please you, daughter-in-law. One never has a chance to get a word in edgewise at your house, because this lady holds the floor all day, but nonetheless, I mean to have my say too. I tell you that my son did nothing wiser in all his life than take this godly man into his household. Heaven sent him here, in your great need, to make you all repent. For your salvation, you must hearken to him. He censures nothing but deserves his censure. These visits, these assemblies, and these balls are all inventions of the evil spirit. You never hear a word of godliness at them, but idle cackle, nonsense, flim-flam. Our neighbor often comes in for a share, the talk flies fast, and scandal fills the air. It makes a sober person's head go round, at these assemblies, just to hear the sound of so much gab, with not a word to say, and as a learned man remarked one day most aptly, "'Tis the Tower of Babylon, where all, beyond all limit, babble on." And just to tell you how this point came into Cleante. So, now the gentleman must snicker, must he? Go find fools like yourself to make you laugh, and don't, to Elmira. Daughter, goodbye, not one word more. As for this house, I leave the half unsaid, but I shan't soon set foot in it again, cuffing Flipwood. Come you, what makes you dream and stand agape, hussy? I'll warm your ears in proper shape. March, trollop, march, seen Roman too, I won't escort her down, for fear she might fall foul of me again. The good old lady, bless us. What a pity she shouldn't hear the way you speak of her. She'd surely tell you you're too good by half, and that she's not so old as all that neither, how she got angry with us all for nothing, and how she seems possessed with her Tartuffe. Her case is nothing, though. Beside her son's, to see him, you would say he's 10 times worse. His conduct in our late unpleasantness had won him much esteem, and proved his courage in service of his king. But now, he's like a man besotted, since he's been so taken with this Tartuffe. He calls him brother, loves him 100 times as much as mother, son, daughter, and wife. He tells him all his secrets and lets him guide his acts and rule his conscience. He fondles and embraces him. A sweetheart could not, I think, be loved more tenderly. At table he must have the seat of honor, while with delight our master sees him eat as much as 6 men could. We must give up the choicest tidbits to him. If he belches, 'tis a servant speaking. Point 2 Master exclaims. God bless you. Oh, he dotes upon him. He's his universe, his hero. He's lost in constant admiration, quotes him on all occasions, takes his trifling acts for wonders, and his words for oracles. The fellow knows his dupe and makes the most on't. He fools him with 100 masks of virtue, gets money from him all the time by canting, and takes upon himself to cop at us. Even his silly coxcomb of a lackey makes it his business to instruct us too. He comes with rolling eyes to preach at us, and throws away our ribbons, rouge, and patches. The wretch, the other day, tore up a kerchief that he had found, pressed in the golden legend, calling it a horrid crime for us to mingle the devil's finery with holy things. Scene Roman 3 to Cleante. You're very lucky to have missed the speech she gave us at the daw. I see my husband is home again. He hasn't seen me yet, so I'll go up and wait till he comes in. And I, to save time, will await him here. I'll merely say good morning, and be gone. Scene Roman 4 I wish you'd say a word to him about my sister's marriage. I suspect Tartuffe opposes it, and puts my father up to all these wretched shifts. You know besides how nearly I'm concerned in it myself. If love unites my sister and Vala, I love his sister too, and if this marriage were to he's coming. Scene VR, good morning, brother. I was just going, but I'm glad to greet you. Things are not far advanced yet in the country? Doreen to Cleante. Just wait a bit, please, brother-in-law. Let me allay my first anxiety by asking news about the family. To Doreen, has everything gone well these last 2 days? What's happening? And how is everybody? Madam had fever and a splitting headache day before yesterday, all day and evening. And how about Tartuffe? Tartuffe, he's well, he's mighty well, stout, fat, fair, rosy-lipped. Poor man. At evening she had nausea and couldn't touch a single thing for supper, her headache still was so severe. And how about Tartuffe? He supped alone before her, and unctuously ate up 2 partridges, as well as half a leg o' mutton, devilled. Poor man? All night she couldn't get a wink of sleep, the fever racked her so, and we had to sit up with her till daylight. How about Tartuffe? Gently inclined to slumber, he left the table, went into his room, got himself straight into a good warm bed, and slept quite undisturbed until next morning. Poor man. At last she let us all persuade her, and got up courage to be bled, and then she was relieved at once. And how about Tartuffe? He plucked up courage properly, bravely entrenched his soul against all evils, and to replace the blood that she had lost, he drank at breakfast 4 huge draughts of wine. Poor man. So now they both are doing well, and I'll go straightway and inform my mistress how pleased you are at her recovery. Seen vi, brother, she ridicules you to your face, and I, though I don't want to make you angry, must tell you candidly that she's quite right. Was such infatuation ever heard of? And can a man today have charms to make you forget all else, relieve his poverty, give him a home, and then? Stop there, good brother, you do not know the man you're speaking of. Since you will have it so, I do not know him, but after all, to tell what sort of man he is, dear brother, you'd be charmed to know him. Your raptures over him would have no end. He is a man who, in fact, a man who ever does his will, knows perfect peace, and counts the whole world else as so much dung. His converse has transformed me quite, he weans my heart from every friendship, teaches me to have no love for anything on earth, and I could see my brother, children, mother, and wife, all die, and never care, a snap. Your feelings are humane, I must say, brother. If you'd seen him, as I saw him first, you would have loved him just as much as I. He came to church each day, with contrite mien kneeled on both knees, right opposite my place, and drew the eyes of all the congregation, to watch the fervor of his prayers to heaven. With deep-drawn sighs and great ejaculations, he humbly kissed the earth at every moment. And when I left the church, he ran before me to give me holy water at the door. I learned his poverty and who he was by questioning his servant, who is like him, and gave him gifts, but in his modesty he always wanted to return a pot. It is too much, he'd say, too much by half, I am not worthy of your pity. Then, when I refused to take it back, he'd go before my eyes and give it to the poor. At length heaven bade me take him to my home, and since that day, all seems to prosper here. He censures everything, and for my sake he even takes great interest in my wife. He lets me know who ogles her, and seems 6 times as jealous as I am myself. You'd not believe how far his zeal can go. He calls himself a sinner just for trifles. The merest nothing is enough to shock him. So much so, that the other day I heard him accuse himself for having, while at prayer, in too much anger caught and killed a flea. Zounds, brother, you are mad, I think? Or else you're making sport of me with such a speech. What are you driving at with all this nonsense? Brother, your language smacks of atheism, and I suspect your soul's a little tainted therewith. I've preached to you a score of times that you'll draw down some judgment on your head. That is the usual strain of all your kind. They must have everyone as blind as they. They call you atheist if you have good eyes, and if you don't adore their vain grimaces, you've neither faith nor care for sacred things. No, no, such talk can't frighten me. I know what I am saying. Heaven sees my heart. We're not the dupes of all your canting mummas. There are false heroes, and false devotees, and as true heroes never are the ones who make much noise about their deeds of honor, just so true devotees, whom we should follow, are not the ones who make so much vain show. What? Will you find no difference between hypocrisy and genuine devoutness? And will you treat them both alike, and pay the self-same honor, both to masks and faces, set artifice beside sincerity, confuse the semblance with reality, esteem a phantom like a living person, and counterfeit as good as honest coin? Men, for the most part, are strange creatures, truly. You never find them keep the golden mean. The limits of good sense, too narrow for them, must always be passed by, in each direction. They often spoil the noblest things because they go too far, and push them to extremes. I merely say this by the way, good brother. You are the sole expounder of the doctrine. Wisdom shall die with you, no doubt, good brother. You are the only wise, the sole enlightened, the oracle, the Cato, of our age. All men, compared to you, are downright fools. I'm not the sole expounder of the doctrine, and wisdom shall not die with me, good brother. But this I know, though it be all my knowledge, that there's a difference twixt false and true. And as I find no kind of hero more to be admired than men of true religion, nothing more noble or more beautiful than is the holy zeal of true devoutness. Just so I think there's not more odious than whited sepulchres of outward unction, those barefaced charlatans, those hireling zealots, whose sacrilegious, treacherous pretense deceives at will, and with impunity makes mockery of all that men hold sacred. Men who, enslaved to selfish interests, make trade and merchandise of godliness, and try to purchase influence and office with false eye-rollings and affected raptures. Those men, I say, who with uncommon zeal seek their own fortunes on the road to heaven, who, skilled in prayer, have always much to ask, and live at court to preach retirement, who reconcile religion with their vices, are quick to anger, vengeful, faithless, tricky, and, to destroy a man, will have the boldness to call their private grudge the cause of heaven. All the more dangerous, since in their anger they use against us weapons men revere, and since they make the world applaud their passion, and seek to stab us with a sacred sword. There are too many of this canting kind. Still, the sincere are easy to distinguish, and many splendid patterns may be found, in our own time, before our very eyes look at Ariston, Periander, Oront, Alcidamas, Clitnanda, and Polydore. No one denies their claim to true religion. Yet they know braggadocios of virtue. They do not make insufferable display, and their religion's human, tractable? They are not always judging all our actions. They'd think such judgment savored of presumption, and leaving pride of words to other men, 'tis by their deeds alone they censure ours. Evil appearances find little credit with them, they even incline to think the best of others. No caballas, no intrigues, they mind the business of their own right living. They don't attack a sinner tooth and nail, for sin's the only object of their hatred. Nor are they overzealous to attempt far more in heaven's behalf than heaven would have him. That is my kind of man, that is true living, that is the pattern we should set ourselves. Your fellow was not fashioned on this model, you're quite sincere in boasting of his zeal, but you're deceived, I think, by false pretenses. My dear good brother-in-law, have you quite done? Yes, I'm your humble servant, just a word. We'll drop that other subject, but you know Vala has had the promise of your daughter. Yes, you had named the happy day, 'tis true, then why put off the celebration of it, I can't say. Can you have some other plan in mind? Perhaps you mean to break your word. I don't say that. I hope no obstacle can keep you from performing what you've promised. Well, that depends. Why must you beat about? Vala has sent me here to settle matters. Heaven be praised. What answer shall I take him? Why, anything you please, but we must know your plans. What are they? I shall do the will of heaven. Come, be serious. You've given your promise to Vala, now will you keep it? Goodbye, alone. His love, methinks, has much to fear. I must go let him know what's happening here. Imprint this ebook is the product of many hours of hard work by volunteers for standard ebooks, and builds on the hard work of other literature lovers made possible by the public domain. This particular ebook is based on a transcription from Project Gutenberg and on digital scans from the Hathai Trust Digital Library. The source text and artwork in this ebook are believed to be in the United States public domain. That is, they are believed to be free of copyright restrictions in the United States. They may still be copyrighted in other countries, so users located outside of the United States must check their local laws before using this ebook. The creators of, and contributors to, this ebook dedicate their contributions to the worldwide public domain via the terms in the CC 01.0 Universal Public Domain Dedication. For full license information, see the uncopyright at the end of this ebook. Standard eBooks is a volunteer-driven project that produces ebook editions of public domain literature using modern typography, technology, and editorial standards, and distributes them free of cost. You can download this and other ebooks carefully produced for true book lovers at Standard Books.org. Introductory note: Louis Roman XIV entertained his court, in May of 1664, at his recently finished palace and pleasure grounds of Versailles, with a week of uninterrupted festival. Molière, now the chief furnisher of the king's pleasures, gave during the week 4 plays: The Bawes, The Faust Marriage, The Princess of Ilies, begun in verse, but hastily finished in prose to be ready for the king's entertainment, and the first 3 acts of Tartuffe. These 3 acts taken alone must have seemed much less serious than the play as a whole seems to us now. They are in fact made up for the most part of excellent light comedy. The harangues of Madame Purnell, the retorts of Dorine, the quarrel and reconciliation of the lovers, the famous scene of the poor man, and that of the confounding of damies. Tartuffe himself does not enter until the 2nd scene of the 3rd act, and in that act he is odious and comical. Not, as in the later acts, odious and almost terrifying. The character of Cleante was less seriously conceived than in later versions of the play, since part of his original role was later transferred to Dorine. And some of the more serious passages of these 3 acts as we have them now, especially in the speeches of Cleante, were probably not yet written. Nevertheless, the character of Tartuffe was clearly enough indicated, and the seriousness of Moliere's attack upon religious hypocrisy was evident enough to arouse immediate opposition. Anne of Austria, the Queen Mother, and all the religious or pseudo-religious cabal of the court, in which the Jesuits were powerful, united to persuade the young king that Moliere's play was dangerous to true religion, and its public representation was forbidden. A contemporary account of the week's festivities says, although the play was thought most amusing, yet the king, realizing what a resemblance there is between those who in true devoutness seek the way to heaven, and those who with a vain show of good works nonetheless do evil, could not in his delicate carefulness for the things that concern religion suffer vice to be made so like virtue, that one might be taken for the other. And therefore, though there was no doubt of the good intent of the author, he forbade the giving of the play in public, and deprived himself of the pleasure of it, that offense might not come to others who were less capable of discerning good from evil. The king was at heart on Moliere's side, whatever he might think public policy demanded. Your Majesty, wrote Molière in his first formal petition for leave to give the play, was so good as to declare that you could find no fault in this comedy, though you forbade me to produce it in public. The prohibition in fact covered only public performances, although a worthy curate, in a book directed against Molière, calling him a demon clothed in flesh and dressed as a man, who deserved for his crime of sacrilege and impiety to be condemned to public execution, and that by fire, foretaste of the fires of hell, to expiate this terrible crime of lèse-majesté against God, a crime which tends to destroy our Catholic religion, had declared that the king ordered Molière to suppress and tear in pieces, destroy and burn all that he had yet written of it, and write no more such infamous matter, on pain of his life. Molière made his play known by repeated readings, as Beaumarchais was to do with his Marriage of Figaro over a century later, and even won the approval of the papal legate Chigi, as he boasts in his first petition, and he gave several private performances under the patronage of those nearest the king. First, the king's brother, entertaining part of the court at Villas-Cotterêts on September 25, 1664, had Molière produce again the first 3 acts of Tartuffe. Then Condé, the first prince of the blood, had the play produced 3 times, November 29, 1664, November 8, 1665, and September 20, 1668. The edition of Molière's works, published in 1682, and edited by Lagrange and Vinot, speaks of the play as having been given, at these 3 performances for Condé, perfect, complete, and finished. It has therefore been taken for granted by all scholars and editors that the play was completed, practically in the form in which we have it, by November 1664. There exists, however, a letter of Condé's son, the Duc d'Enghien, written in October of 1665, and recently published, in which he urges his agent at Paris to beg Molière, in all secrecy, for a performance of Tartuffe, the one actually given November 8, 1665, and to ask him, in case the 4th act of Tartuffe be written, whether he could not give that also. The Duc d'Enghien had been present at the performance of November 1664. If the whole play had been given then, why should he ask doubtfully, just before the performance of November 1665, whether the 4th act were yet written and could be given? The only solution yet suggested is that by written, the Duc d'Enghien may have meant rewritten, which to say the least seems doubtful. I am inclined to think, in spite of the usual accuracy of Lagrange, that the adjectives perfect, complete, and finished may rightly have applied to the play only at the 2 later, or possibly even the last, of these 3 performances for Condé, and that, contrary to the universally accepted opinion, the play was not finished until after 1664, and possibly even not until 1667, when the first public performance was given. There is further evidence pointing in this direction in a letter written by the French Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs, Monsieur de Lyon, to the librarian of the ex-Queen of Sweden, Christine, who eagerly wished to arrange a private performance of Tartuffe. On February 26, 1666, Monsieur de Lyon writes, "What you request, in behalf of the Queen of Sweden, regarding the comedy of Tartuffe which Molière had begun and has never finished, is entirely impossible, being a matter not in my control, or even in that of the king." Monsieur Mesnard, who gives this letter in the Grands Écrivains edition of Molière, asks in a note on the line which I have italicized, "Was Monsieur de Lyon so ill-informed, or did he pretend to be?" It is hardly probable that he was ill-informed, since the rest of the letter shows familiarity with the king's personal attitude toward the play, and with Moliere's personal reasons for not wishing to let it go out of his hands. May we not infer that possibly Monsieur de Lion was right, and that in February of 1666, Molière had not yet given final shape to the last acts of his play? It is certainly interesting and suggestive to consider the last 2 acts of Tartuffe as perhaps not having been written, in anything like their present form at least, until after the Misanthrope. And this would explain their marked contrast, in tone and in mood, with the first 3 acts, which belong, excepting possibly a few of the more serious passages, to a somewhat earlier and very different period of Molière's life. In any case, he was constantly revising the play. In 1667, he gave it a new title, The Impostor, the better to protect himself from the charge of criticizing in it men of true religion. He changed the name of its principal character, for the word Tartuffe had already come into general use as a common noun, suggesting at once hypocrisy and religious unction, to Panulf, and made him a man of the world, dressed in the latest fashion, with large wig, little hat, short sword, and lace all over his clothes, to avoid the resemblance of the black-robed lay confessor Tartuffe with the priesthood, and, as he says, toning down the play in many places, cut out everything which it seemed possible could furnish the shadow of a pretext to the famous originals of the portrait, but all to no purpose. In this form the play was produced at Paris, August 5, 1667, while the king, who it seems had orally given permission for its production if properly revised, was absent with the army in Flanders. On the next day, the president of the highest court in Paris issued an injunction forbidding further performances, and 5 days later, the Archbishop of Paris promulgated an order forbidding all persons to take part in, read, or hear the play, in public or in private, under penalty of excommunication. Molière at once closed his theatre, and dispatched 2 of his chief actors with his second petition to the king, who promised to take up the matter again on his return. It was not for 1.5 years, however, that formal and authoritative permission was finally granted, and the play was given, beginning on February 5, 1669, to the largest audiences that had ever crowded Molière's theatre. In the meanwhile, Molière had still further revised his work, as we know from comparing our present text with a rather detailed contemporary account of the single performance of 1667, had restored the name Tartuffe, and had given to the role of Cléante its seriousness and importance as representing his own ideas and his answer to his enemies. This answer he repeated in his own person. In the preface to the first edition of the play, "If you will take the trouble to examine my comedy in good faith, you will surely see that my intentions are throughout innocent, and that the play in no wise tends to turn to ridicule the things that we ought to reverence, that I have shown in it all that carefulness which the delicacy of the subject called for, and that I have used all the art and the pains that I could to make clear the distinction between your hypocrite and your man of true devoutness. I have employed to that end 2 whole acts in preparing the entry of my scoundrel. He does not leave the auditor one moment in doubt. He says nothing, he does nothing, but what paints him to the spectators as a rascal, and sets off the character of the truly virtuous man I put in opposition to him. If the office of comedy is to correct the vices of men, I know not why any should have a special privilege of exemption. This one hypocrisy has consequences far more dangerous to the state than all the others. 'Tis a mighty stroke at any vice to make it the laughing-stock of everybody, for men will easily suffer reproof, but they can by no means endure mockery. They will consent to be wicked, but not to be ridiculous." Tartuffe by Molière, translated by Curtis Hidden Page. Uncopyright. May you do good and not evil. May you find forgiveness for yourself and forgive others. May you share freely, never taking more than you give. Copyright pages exist to tell you that you can't do something. Unlike them, this uncopyright page exists to tell you that the writing and artwork in this ebook are believed to be in the United States public domain, that is, they are believed to be free of copyright restrictions in the United States. The United States public domain represents our collective cultural heritage, and items in it are free for anyone in the United States to do almost anything at all with, without having to get permission. Copyright laws are different all over the world, and the source text or artwork in this ebook may still be copyrighted in other countries. If you're not located in the United States, you must check your local laws before using this ebook. Standard ebooks makes no representations regarding the copyright status of the source text or artwork in this ebook in any country other than the United States. Non-authorship, activities performed on items that are in the public domain, so-called sweat of the brow, work. Don't create a new copyright. That means that nobody can claim a new copyright on an item that is in the public domain for, among other things, work like digitization, mock-up, or typography. Regardless, the contributors to this ebook released their contributions under the terms in the CC 01.0 Universal Public Domain dedication, thus dedicating to the worldwide public domain all of the work they've done on this ebook, including but not limited to metadata, the title page, imprint, colophon, this uncopyright, and any changes or enhancements to, or mock-up on, the original text and artwork. This dedication doesn't change the copyright status of the source text or artwork. We make this dedication in the interest of enriching our global cultural heritage, to promote free and libre culture around the world, and to give back to the unrestricted culture that has given all of us so much. Table of Contents Landmarks. Act Roman 2 Scene I now, Marion. Yes, father? Come, I'll tell you a secret. Yes, what are you looking for? Looking into a small closet room. To see there's no one there to spy upon us, that little closet's mighty fit to hide in. There, we're all right now. Marion, in you I've always found a daughter dutiful and gentle, so I've always loved you dearly. I'm grateful for your fatherly affection. Well-spoken, daughter. Now, prove you deserve it by doing as I wish in all respects. To do so is the height of my ambition. Excellent well. What say you of Tartuffe? Who, I? Yes, you, look to it how you answer. Why, I'll say of him anything you please. Seen Roman too well spoken. A good girl. Say then, my daughter, that all his person shines with noble merit, that he has won your heart, and you would like to have him by my choice become your husband. What say you? Please, what did you say? What, surely I mistook you, sir? How now? Who is it? Father, you would have me say has won my heart, and I would like to have become my husband by your choice? Tartuffe. But father, I protest it isn't true. Why should you make me tell this dreadful lie? Because I mean to have it be the truth. Let this suffice for you, I've settled it. What, father, you would? Yes, child, I'm resolved to graft Tartuffe into my family, so he must be your husband, that I've settled. And since your duty, seeing Doreen. What are you doing there? Your curiosity is keen, my girl, to make you come eavesdropping on us so. Upon my word, I don't know how the rumor got started, if 'twas guesswork or mere chance, but I had heard already of this match and treated it as utter stuff and nonsense. What, is the thing incredible? So much so I don't believe it even from yourself, sir. I know a way to make you credit it. No, you're telling us a fairy tale. I'm telling you just what will happen shortly. Stuff, daughter, what I say is in good earnest. There, don't take your father seriously, he's fooling. But I tell you, no use, they won't believe you, if I let my anger. Well then, we do believe you, and the worse for you it is. What can a grown-up man with that expanse of beard across his face be mad enough to want? You hawk me, you've taken on yourself here in this house a sort of free familiarity that I don't like, I tell you frankly, girl. There, let's not get angry. Sir, I beg you, but are you making game of everybody? Your daughter's not cut out for bigots' meat, and he has more important things to think of. Besides, what can you gain by such a match? How can a man of wealth like you go choose a wretched vagabond for son-in-law? You hold your tongue. And no, the less he has, the better cause have we to honor him. His poverty is honest poverty. It should exalt him more than worldly grandeur, for he has let himself be robbed of all, through careless disregard of temporal things and fixed attachment to the things eternal. My help may set him on his feet again, win back his property, a fair estate he has at home, so I'm informed, and prove him for what he is, a true-born gentleman. Yes, so he says himself. Such vanity but ill accords with pious living, sir. The man who cares for holiness alone should not so loudly boast his name and birth. The humble ways of genuine devoutness brook not so much display of earthly pride. Why should he be so vain? But I offend you. Let's leave his rank, then. Take the man himself. Can you, without compunction, give a man like him possession of a girl like her? Think what a scandal's sure to come of it. Virtue is at the mercy of the fates when a girl's married to a man she hates. The best intent to live an honest woman depends upon the husband's being human, and men whose brows are pointed at afar may thank themselves their wives are what they are. For to be true is more than woman can, with husbands built upon a certain plan, and he who weds his child against her will owes heaven account for it, if she do ill. Think then what perils wait on your design. To Marion, so, I must learn what's what from her, you see? You might do worse than follow my advice. Daughter, we can't waste time upon this nonsense. I know what's good for you, and I'm your father. True, I had promised you to young Vala, but first they tell me he's inclined to gamble, and then, I fear his faith is not quite sound. I haven't noticed that he's regular at church. You'd have him run there just when you do. Like those who go on purpose to be seen? I don't ask your opinion on the matter. In short, the other is in heaven's best graces, and that is riches quite beyond compare. This match will bring you every joy you long for. 'Twill be all steeped in sweetness and delight. You'll live together, in your faithful loves, like two sweet children, like two turtle doves. You'll never fail to quarrel, scold, or tease, and you may do with him whate'er you please. With him? Do not but give him Hans, I'll warrant, out on thee, wench. I tell you he's cut out fought. However great your daughter's virtue, sir, his destiny is sure to prove the stronger. Have done with interrupting. Hold your tongue. Don't poke your nose in other people's business. She keeps interrupting him, just as he turns and starts to speak to his daughter. If I make bold, sir, 'tis for your own good. You're too officious, pray you hold your tongue. 'Tis love of you, I want none of your love, then I will love you in your own despite. You will, eh? Yes, your honor's dear to me. I can't endure to see you made the butt of all men's ridicule. Won't you be still? 'Twould be a sin to let you make this match. Won't you be still, I say, you impudent viper? What? You are pious and you lose your temper? I'm all wrought up with your confounded nonsense. Now, once for all, I tell you hold your tongue. Then mum's the word, I'll take it out in thinking. Think all you please, but not a syllable to me about it, or you understand. As a wise father, I've considered all with due deliberation. I'll go mad if I can't speak. Though he's no lady's man, Tartuffe is well enough, a pretty phiz, so that, although you may not care at all for his best qualities, a handsome dowry, were I in her place, any man should rue it who married me by force, that's mighty certain. I'd let him know, and that within a week, a woman's vengeance isn't far to seek, to Doreen. So nothing that I say has any weight, eh? What's wrong now? I didn't speak to you. What were you doing? Talking to myself? Oh, very well. Aside, her monstrous impudence must be chastised with one good slap in the face. Daughter, you must approve of my design. Think of this husband I have chosen for you, to Doreen. Why don't you talk to yourself? Nothing to say. One little word more. Oh no, thanks, not now. Sure I'd have caught you. Faith, I'm no such fool. So, daughter, now obedience is the word. You must accept my choice with reverence. Running away? You'd never catch me marrying such a creature. Swinging his hand at her and missing her. Daughter, you've such a pestilent hussy there I can't live with her longer without sin. I can't discuss things in the state I'm in. My mind's so flustered by her insolent talk, to calm myself, I must go take a walk. Seen Roman 3 say, have you lost the tongue from out your head? And must I speak your role from A to Z? You let them broach a project that's absurd, and don't oppose it with a single word. What can I do? My father is the master. Do everything to ward off such disaster. But what? Tell him one doesn't love by proxy, tell him you'll marry for yourself, not him. Since you're the one for whom the thing is done, you are the one, not he. The man must please. If his Tartuffe has charmed him so, why let him just marry him himself? No one will hinder. A father's rights are such, it seems to me, that I could never dare to say a word. Came, talk it out. Vala has asked your hand. Now do you love him, pray, or do you not? Doreen, how can you wrong my love so much and ask me such a question? Have I not 100 times laid bare my heart to you? Do you know how ardently I love him? How do I know if heart and words agree, and if in honest truth you really love him? Doreen, you wrong me greatly if you doubt it. I've shown my inmost feelings all too plainly. So then you love him? Yes, devotedly. And he returns your love, apparently? I think so. And you both alike are eager to be well married to each other. Surely. Then what's your plan about this other match? To kill myself if it is forced upon me? Good, that's a remedy I hadn't thought of. Just die, and everything will be all right. This medicine is marvelous indeed. It drives me mad to hear folk talk such nonsense. Oh dear, Doreen, you get in such a temper. You have no sympathy for people's troubles. I have no sympathy when folk talk nonsense and flatten out as you do, at a pinch. But what can you expect, if one is timid? But what is love worth if it has no courage? Am I not constant in my love for him? Is't not his place to win me from my father? But if your father is a crazy fool, and quite bewitched with his Tartuffe, and breaks his bounden word, is that your lover's fault? But shall I publicly refuse and scorn this match and make it plain that I'm in love? Shall I cast off for him, whate'er he be, womanly modesty and filial duty? You ask me to display my love in public. No, no, I ask you nothing. You shall be Mr. Tartuffe's. Why, now I think of it, I should be wrong to turn you from this marriage. What cause can I have to oppose your wishes? So fine a match, an excellent good match, Mr. Tartuffe? Oh ho, no mean proposal. Mr. Tartuffe, sure, take it all in all, is not a man to sneeze at. Oh, by no means. 'Tis no small luck to be his happy spouse. The whole world joins to sing his praise already. He's noble in his parish, handsome too, red ears and high complexion. Oh, my lud, you'll be too happy, sure, with him for husband. Oh dear, what joy and pride will fill your heart to be the bride of such a handsome fellow. Oh, stop, I beg you. Try to find some way to help break off the match. I quite give in. I'm ready to do anything you say. No, no. A daughter must obey her father, though he should want to make her wed a monkey. Besides, your fate is fine. What could be better? You'll take the stagecoach to his little village and find it full of uncles and of cousins, whose conversation will delight you. Then you'll be presented in their best society. You'll even go to call, by way of welcome, on Mrs. Bailiff, Mrs. Tax Collector, who will patronize you with a folding stool. There, once a year at Carnival, you'll have perhaps a ball, with orchestra, 2 bagpipes, and sometimes a trained ape and Punch and Judy, though if your husband, oh, you'll kill me. Please contrive to help me out with your advice. I thank you kindly. Oh, Doreen, I beg you to serve you right, this marriage must go through. Dear girl, no, if I say I love Vala, no, no, Tartuffe's your man and you shall taste him. You know I've always trusted you, now help me. No, you shall be my faith, Tartuffified. Well then, since you've no pity for my fate, let me take counsel only of despair. It will advise and help and give me courage. There's one sure cure, I know, for all my troubles. She starts to go. There, come back, I can't be angry long. I must take pity on you after all. Oh, don't you see, Doreen, if I must bear this martyrdom, I certainly shall die. Now don't you fret, we'll surely find some way to hinder this, but here's Vala, your lover. Scene for Madam, a piece of news quite new to me, has just come out and very fine it is. What piece of news? Your marriage with Tartuffe. 'Tis true my father has this plan in mind. Your father, madam? Yes, he's changed his plans and did but now propose it to me. What, seriously? Yes, he was serious and openly insisted on the match. And what's your resolution in the matter, madam? I don't know, that's a pretty answer. You don't know? No, no. What do you advise? My advice is, marry him by all means. That's your advice? Yes, do you mean it? Surely. A splendid choice and worthy of your acceptance. Oh, very well, sir. I shall take your counsel. You'll find no trouble taking it, I warrant. No more than you did giving it, be sure. I gave it truly to oblige you, madam, and I shall take it to oblige you, sir. Withdrawing to the back of the stage, let's see what this affair will come to. So that is your love, and it was all deceit when you, I beg you, say no more of that. You told me squarely, sir, I should accept the husband that is offered me, and I will tell you squarely that I mean to do so, since you have given me this good advice. Don't shield yourself with talk of my advice. You had your mind made up, that's evident, and now you're snatching at a trifling pretext to justify the breaking of your word. Exactly so. Of course it is. Your heart has never known true love for me. Alas, you're free to think so, if you please. Yes, I'm free to think so, and my outraged love may yet forestall you in your perfidy, and offer elsewhere both my heart and hand. No doubt of it, the love your high deserts may win. Good Lord, have done with my deserts? I know I have but few, and you have proved it, but I may find more kindness in another. I know of someone who will not be ashamed to take your leavings and make up my loss. The loss is not so great. You'll easily console yourself completely for this change. I'll try my best, that you may well believe. When we're forgotten by a woman's heart, our pride is challenged. We too must forget, or if we cannot, must at least pretend to. No other way can man such baseness prove, as be a lover scorned and still in love. In faith, a high and noble sentiment. Yes, and it's one that all men must approve. What? Would you have me keep my love alive, and see you fly into another's arms before my very eyes, and never offer to someone else the heart that you had scorned? Oh no, indeed. For my part, I could wish that it were done already. What, you wish it? Yes, this is insult heaped on injury. I'll go at once and do as you desire. He takes a step or two as if to go away. Oh, very well then, turning back. But remember this, 'twas you that drove me to this desperate pass. Of course. Turning back again, and in the plan that I have formed I only follow your example. Yes, at the door. Enough, you shall be punctually obeyed, so much the better, coming back again. This is once for all. So be it then. He goes toward the door, but just as he reaches it, turns around. What, you didn't call me? You are dreaming. Very well, I'm gone. Madam, farewell. He walks slowly away. Farewell, sir, I must say you've lost your senses and both gone clean daft. I've let you fight it out to the end o' the chapter to see how far the thing could go. Oh ho there, Mr. Vala. She goes and seizes him by the arm to stop him. He makes a great show of resistance. What do you want, Doreen? Come here? No, I'm quite beside myself. Don't hinder me from doing as she wishes. Stop? No, you see I'm fixed, resolved, determined. So, aside, since my presence pains him makes him go, I'd better go myself and leave him free. Leaving Vala and running off to Marion. Now T'other, where are you going? Let me be, come back. No, no, it isn't any use, aside. 'Tis clear the sight of me is torture to her, no doubt, were better I should free her from it, leaving Marion and running off to Vala. Same thing again. Deuce take you both, I say, now stop your fooling, come here you and you. She pulls first one then the other toward the middle of the stage, to Doreen. What's your idea? To Doreen. What can you mean to do? Set you to rights and pull you out of the scrape, to Vala. Are you quite mad to quarrel with her now? Didn't you hear the things she said to me, to Marion? Are you quite mad to get in such a passion? Didn't you see the way he treated me? Fools, both of you, to Vala. She thinks of nothing else but to keep faith with you, I vouch for it, to Marion, and he loves none but you and longs for nothing but just to marry you, I stake my life on't. To Vala. Why did you give me such advice then, pray? To Marion. Why ask for my advice on such a matter? You both are daft, I tell you. Here your hands, to Vala. Come yours, giving Doreen his hand. What for? To Marion. Now yours, giving Doreen her hand. But what's the use? Oh, quick now, come along. There, both of you, you love each other better than you think. Vala and Marion hold each other's hands some time without looking at each other. At last turning toward Marion. Come, don't be so ungracious now about it. Look at a man as if you didn't hate him. Marion looks sideways toward Vala, with just a bit of a smile. My faith and troth, what fools these lovers be, to Marion. But come now, have I not a just complaint? And truly, are you not a wicked creature to take delight in saying what would pain me? And are you not yourself the most ungrateful? Leave this discussion till another time. Now, think how you'll stave off this plaguey marriage. Then tell us how to go about it. Well, we'll try all sorts of ways, to Marion. Your father's daft, to Vala. This plan is nonsense, to Marion. You had better humor his notions by a semblance of consent so that in case of danger, you can still find means to block the marriage by delay. If you gain time, the rest is easy, trust me. One day you'll fool them with a sudden illness, causing delay. Another day, ill omens, you've met a funeral or broke a mirror, or dreamed of muddy water. Best of all, they cannot marry you to anyone without your saying yes. But now, methinks, they mustn't find you chattering together. To Vala? You go at once and set your friends at work to make him keep his word to you, while we will bring the brother's influence to bear, and get the stepmother on our side, too. Goodbye, to Marion. Whatever efforts we may make, my greatest hope, be sure, must rest on you. To Vala. I cannot answer for my father's whims, but no one save Vala shall ever have me. You thrill me through with joy. Whatever comes, oh-ho, these lovers, never done with prattling. Now go, starting to go and coming back again. One last word. What a gabble and pother. Be off by this daw, you, and you by t'other. She pushes them off by the shoulders in opposite directions. Act Roman 3 scene. I may lightning strike me dead this very instant. May I be everywhere proclaimed a scoundrel, if any reverence or power shall stop me, and if I don't do straightway something desperate. I beg you, moderate this towering passion. Your father did but merely mention it. Not all things that are talked of turn to facts. The road is long, sometimes, from plans to acts. No, I must end this paltry fellow's plots, and he shall hear from me a truth or two. So ho, go slow now. Just you leave the fellow, your father too, in your stepmother's hands. She has some influence with this Tartuffe. He makes a point of heeding all she says, and I suspect that he is fond of her. Would God twere true? It would be the height of humour now. She has sent for him, in your behalf, to sound him on this marriage, to find out what his ideas are, and to show him plainly what troubles he may cause, if he persists in giving countenance to this design. His man says he's at prayers, I mustn't see him, but likewise says he'll presently be down. So off with you and let me wait for him. I may be present at this interview. No, no, they must be left alone. I won't so much as speak to him. Go on, we know you and your high tantrums. Just the way to spoil things. Be off. No, I must see, I'll keep my temper. Out on you, what a plague. He's coming. Hide. Damies goes and hides in the closet at the back of the stage. Scene Roman 2 speaking to his valet, off the stage, as soon as he sees Doreen is there. Lawrence, put up my haircloth shirt and scourge, and pray that heaven may shed its light upon you. If any come to see me, say I'm gone to share my alms among the prisoners. Aside, what affectation and what showing off. What do you want with me? To tell you, taking a handkerchief from his pocket. Ah, before you speak, pray take this handkerchief. What? Cover up that bosom, which I can't endure to look on. Things like that offend our souls, and fill our minds with sinful thoughts. Are you so tender to temptation, then, and has the flesh such power upon your senses? I don't know how you get in such a heat. For my part, I am not so prone to lust, and I could see you stripped from head to foot, and all your hide not tempt me in the least. Show in your speech some little modesty, or I must instantly take leave of you. No, no, I'll leave you to yourself. I've only one thing to say. Madam will soon be down and begs the favor of a word with you. Ah, willingly, aside, how gentle all at once. My faith, I still believe I've hit upon it. Will she come soon? I think I hear her now. Yes, here she is herself. I'll leave you with her. Scene Roman 3. May heaven's overflowing kindness ever give you good health of body and of soul, and bless your days according to the wishes and prayers of its most humble votary. I'm very grateful for your pious wishes. But let's sit down so we may talk at ease. After sitting down, and how are you recovered from your illness? Sitting down also. Quite well, the fever soon let go its hold. My prayers, I fear, have not sufficient merit to have drawn down this favor from on high, but each entreaty that I made to heaven had for its object your recovery. You're too solicitous on my behalf. We could not cherish your dear health too much. I would have given mine to help restore it. That's pushing Christian charity too far. I owe you many thanks for so much kindness. I do far less for you than you deserve. There is a matter that I wish to speak of in private. I am glad there's no one here to listen. Madam, I am overjoyed. 'Tis sweet to find myself alone with you. This is an opportunity I've asked of heaven many a time, till now in vain. All that I wish is just a word from you, quite frank and open, hiding nothing from me. Damies, without their seeing him, opens the closet door halfway. I too could wish, as heaven's especial favor, to lay my soul quite open to your eyes, and swear to you, the trouble that I made about those visits which your charms attract does not result from any hatred toward you, but rather from a passionate devotion and purest motives. That is how I take it. I think 'tis my salvation that concerns you. Pressing her fingertips. Madam, 'tis so, and such is my devotion. Ouch, but you squeeze too hard. Excessive zeal? In no way could I ever mean to hurt you, and I'd as soon. He puts his hand on her knee. What's your hand doing there? Feeling your gown? The stuff is very soft. Let be, I beg you, I am very ticklish. She moves her chair away, and Tartuffe brings his nearer. Handling the lace yoke of Elmaya's dress. Dear me, how wonderful in workmanship this lace is. They do marvels, nowadays. Things of all kinds were never better made. Yes, very true. But let us come to business. They say my husband means to break his word, and marry Marian to you. Is't so? He did hint some such thing, but truly, madam, that's not the happiness I'm yearning after. I see elsewhere the sweet, compelling charms of such a joy as fills my every wish. You mean you cannot love terrestrial things. The heart within my bosom is not stone. I well believe your sighs all tend to heaven, and nothing here below can stay your thoughts. Love for the beauty of eternal things cannot destroy our love for earthly beauty. Our mortal senses may be entranced by perfect works that heaven has fashioned here. Its charms reflected shine in such as you, and in yourself, its rarest miracles. It has displayed such marvels in your face, that eyes are dazed, and hearts are rapt away. I could not look on you, the perfect creature, without admiring nature's great creator, and feeling all my heart inflamed with love for you, his fairest image of himself. At first I trembled lest this secret love might be the evil spirit's artful snare. I even schooled my heart to flee your beauty, thinking it was a bar to my salvation. But soon, enlightened, O all lovely one, I saw how this my passion may be blameless, how I may make it fit with modesty, and thus completely yield my heart to it. 'Tis, I must own, a great presumption in me to dare make you the offer of my heart. My love hopes all things from your perfect goodness, and nothing from my own poor weak endeavor. You are my hope, my stay, my peace of heart. On you depends my torment or my bliss, and by your doom of judgment I shall be blessed if you will, or damned by your decree. Your declarations turned most gallantly, but truly it is just a bit surprising. You should have better armed your heart, methinks, and taken thought somewhat on such a matter. A pious man like you, known everywhere, though pious, I am none the less a man, and when a man beholds your heavenly charms, the heart surrenders and can think no more. I know such words seem strange coming from me, but madam, I'm no angel after all. If you condemn my frankly made avowal, you only have your charming self to blame. Soon as I saw your more than human beauty, you were thenceforth the sovereign of my soul. Sweetness ineffable was in your eyes, that took by storm my still resisting heart, and conquered everything, fasts, prayers, and tears, and turned my worship wholly to yourself. My looks, my sighs have spoke 1,000 times. Now, to express it all, my voice must speak. If but you will look down with gracious favor upon the sorrows of your worthless slave, if in your goodness you will give me comfort and condescend unto my nothingness, I'll ever pay you, O sweet miracle, an unexampled worship and devotion. Then, too, With me your honor runs no risk. With me you need not fear a public scandal. These cot gallants that women are so fond of are boastful of their acts and vain in speech. They always brag in public of their progress. Soon as a favor's granted, they'll divulge it. Their tattling tongues, if you but trust to them, will foul the altar where their hearts have worshipped. But men like me are so discreet in love that you may trust their lasting secrecy. The care we take to guard our own good name may fully guarantee the one we love. So you may find, with hearts like ours sincere, love without scandal, pleasure without fear. I've heard you through. Your speech is clear, at least. But don't you fear that I may take a fancy to tell my husband of your gallant passion, and that a prompt report of this affair may somewhat change the friendship which he bears you? I know that you're too good and generous, that you will pardon my temerity, excuse, upon the score of human frailty, the violence of passion that offends you, and not forget, when you consult your mirror, that I'm not blind, and man is made of flesh. Some women might do otherwise, perhaps, but I am willing to employ discretion, and not repeat the matter to my husband. But in return, I'll ask one thing of you, that you urge forward, frankly and sincerely, the marriage of Valettimarian, that you give up the unjust influence by which you hope to win another's rights. And seen Roman Faw coming out of the closet-room where he had been hiding. No, I say, this thing must be made public. I was just there, and overheard it all. And heaven's goodness must have brought me there on purpose to confound this scoundrel's pride and grant me means to take a signal vengeance on his hypocrisy and arrogance, and undeceive my father, showing up the rascal caught at making love to you. No, no. It is enough if he reforms, endeavoring to deserve the favor shown him. And since I've promised, do not you belie me. 'Tis not my way to make a public scandal. An honest wife will scorn to heed such follies, and never fret her husband's ears with them. You've reasons of your own for acting thus, and I have mine for doing otherwise. To spare him now would be a mockery. His bigot's pride has triumphed all too long over my righteous anger, and has caused far too much trouble in our family. The rascal all too long has ruled my father, and crushed my sister's love, and mine as well. The traitor now must be unmasked before him, and Providence has given me means to do it. To heaven I owe the opportunity, and if I did not use it now I have it, I should deserve to lose it once for all. Damies, no, by your leave, I'll not be counselled. I'm overjoyed. You needn't try to tell me I must give up the pleasure of revenge. I'll make an end of this affair at once, and, to content me, here's my father now. Scene V, father, we've news to welcome your arrival, that's altogether novel and surprising. You are well paid for your caressing care, and this fine gentleman rewards your love most handsomely, with zeal that seeks no less than your dishonor, as has now been proven. I've just surprised him making to your wife the shameful offer of a guilty love. She, somewhat over-gentle and discreet, insisted that the thing should be concealed, but I will not condone such shamelessness, nor so far wrong you as to keep it secret. Yes, I believe a wife should never trouble her husband's peace of mind with such vain gossip. A woman's honor does not hang on telling. It is enough if she defend herself. Also, I think, damies, you'd not have spoken, if you would but have heeded my advice. Scene vi just heaven? Can what I hear be credited? Yes, brother, I am wicked, I am guilty, a miserable sinner, steeped in evil, the greatest criminal that ever lived. Each moment of my life is stained with soilures, and all is but a mass of crime and filth. Heaven, for my punishment, I see it plainly, would mortify me now. Whatever wrong they find to charge me with, I'll not deny it but guard against the pride of self-defense. Believe their stories, arm your wrath against me, and drive me like a villain from your house. I cannot have so great a share of shame, but what I have deserved a great a still. To his son, you miscreant, can you dare, with such a falsehood, to try to stain the whiteness of his virtue? What? The feigned meekness of this hypocrite makes you discredit. Silence, cursed plague. Ah, let him speak, you chide him wrongfully. You do far better to believe his tales. Why favor me so much in such a matter? How can you know of what I'm capable? And should you trust my outward semblance, brother, or judge therefrom that I'm the better man? No, no, you let appearances deceive you. I'm anything but what I'm thought to be, alas. And though all men believe me godly, the simple truth is, I'm a worthless creature. To Damies. Yes, my dear son, say on and call me traitor, abandoned scoundrel, thief and murderer. Heap on me names yet more detestable, and I shall not gainsay you. I've deserved them. I'll bear this ignominy on my knees to expiate in shame the crimes I've done. To Tartuffe. Ah, brother, 'tis too much. To his son. You'll not relent, you blackguard. What? His talk can so deceive you. Silence, you scoundrel. To Tartuffe. Brother, rise, I beg you. To his son. Infamous villain, can he silence? What? Another word, I'll break your every bone. Brother, in God's name, don't be angry with him. I'd rather bear myself the bitterest torture than have him get a scratch on my account, to his son. Ungrateful monster, stop. Upon my knees I beg you pardon him, throwing himself on his knees too, and embracing Tartuffe. Alas, how can you? To his son. Villain, behold his goodness, so be still. What? Be still, I say. I know your motives for this attack. You hate him, all of you, wife, children, servants, all let loose upon him. You have recourse to every shameful trick to drive this godly man out of my house. The more you strive to rid yourselves of him, the more I'll strive to make him stay with me. I'll have him straightway married to my daughter, just to confound the pride of all of you. What, will you force her to accept his hand? Yes, and this very evening, to enrage you, young rascal. Ah, I'll brave you all, and show you that I'm the master and must be obeyed. Now, down upon your knees this instant, rogue, and take back what you said and ask his pardon. Who? I ask pardon of that cheating scoundrel. Do you resist, you beggar, and insult him? A cudgel here, a cudgel, to Tartuffe, don't restrain me, to his son. Off with you, leave my house this instant, sirrah, and never dare set foot in it again. Yes, I will leave your house, but leave it quickly. You reprobate, I disinherit you and give you too my curse into the bargain. Scene Romans 7. What, so insult a saintly man of God? Heaven, forgive him all the pain he gives me. Far to organ. Could you but know with what distress I see them try to vilify me to my brother? Ah, the mere thought of such ingratitude makes my soul suffer torture, bitterly, my horror at it, ah, my heart's so full I cannot speak, I think I'll die of it. In tears, running to the door through which he drove away his son. Scoundrel? I wish I'd never let you go, but slain you on the spot with my own hand. To Tartuffe, brother, compose yourself and don't be angry. Nay, brother, let us end these painful quarrels. I see what troublous times I bring upon you, and think 'tis needful that I leave this house. What, you can't mean it? Yes, they hate me here, and try, I find, to make you doubt my faith. What of it? Do you find I listen to them? No doubt they won't stop there. These same reports you now reject may some day win a hearing. No, brother, never. Ah, my friend, a woman may easily mislead her husband's mind. No, no, so let me quickly go away and thus remove all cause for such attacks. No, you shall stay. My life depends upon it. Then I must modify myself. And yet if you should wish, no, never. Very well then, no more of that. But I shall rule my conduct to fit the case. Honor is delicate, and friendship binds me to forestall suspicion, prevent all scandal, and avoid your wife. No, you shall haunt her, just to spite them all. 'Tis my delight to set them in a rage. You shall be seen together at all hours, and what is more, the better to defy them. I'll have no other heir but you, and straightway I'll go and make a deed of gift to you, drawn in due form, of all my property. A good true friend, my son-in-law to be, is more to me than son and wife and kindred. You will accept my offer, will you not? Heaven's will be done in everything, poor man. We'll go make haste to draw the deed aright, and then let envy burst itself with spite. Act Roman fa scene I. Yes, it's become the talk of all the town, and make a stir that's scarcely to your credit. And I have met you, sir, most opportunely, to tell you in a word my frank opinion. Not to sift out this scandal to the bottom, suppose the worst for us. Suppose Damies acted the traitor, and accused you falsely. Should not a Christian pardon this offense and stifle in his heart all wish for vengeance? Should you permit that, for your petty quarrel, a son be driven from his father's house? I tell you yet again, and tell you frankly, everyone, high or low, is scandalized. If you'll take my advice, you'll make it up and not push matters to extremities. Make sacrifice to God of your resentment, restore the son to favor with his father. Alas, so far as I'm concerned, how gladly would I do so. I bear him no ill will. I pardon all, lay nothing to his charge, and wish with all my heart that I might serve him. But heaven's interests cannot allow it. If he returns, then I must leave the house. After his conduct, quite unparalleled, all intercourse between us would bring scandal. God knows what everyone's first thought would be. They would attribute it to merest scheming on my part, say that, conscious of my guilt, I feigned a Christian love for my accuser, but feared him in my heart, and hoped to win him and underhandedly secure his silence. You try to put us off with specious phrases, but all your arguments are too far-fetched. Why take upon yourself the cause of heaven? Does heaven need our help to punish sinners? Leave to itself the care of its own vengeance, and keep in mind the pardon it commands us. Besides, think somewhat less of men's opinions when you are following the will of heaven. Shall petty fear of what the world may think prevent the doing of a noble deed? No, let us always do as heaven commands, and not perplex our brains with further questions. Already I have told you I forgive him, and that is doing, sir, as heaven commands. But after this day's scandal and affront, heaven does not order me to live with him. And does it order you to lend your ear to what mere whim suggested to his father, and to accept gift of his estates, on which, in justice, you can make no claim? No one who knows me, sir, can have the thought that I am acting from a selfish motive. The goods of this world have no charms for me. I am not dazzled by their treacherous glamour. And if I bring myself to take the gift which he insists on giving me, I do so, to tell the truth, only because I fear this whole estate may fall into bad hands, and those to whom it comes may use it ill and not employ it, as is my design, for heaven's glory and my neighbor's good. Sir, give up these conscientious scruples that well may cause a rightful heir's complaints. Don't take so much upon yourself, but let him possess what's his, at his own risk and peril. Consider, it were better he misused it, than you should be accused of robbing him. I am astounded that unblushingly you could allow such offers to be made. Tell me, has true religion any maxim that teaches us to rob the lawful heir? If heaven has made it quite impossible, damies, and you should live together here, were it not better you should quietly and honorably withdraw, than let the son be driven out for your sake, dead against all reason? 'Twould be giving, sir, believe me, such an example of your probity, sir. It is 3:30, certain devotions recall me to my closet. You'll forgive me for leaving you so soon. Alone. Scene Roman 2 to Cleante. Sir, we beg you to help us all you can in her behalf. She's suffering almost more than heart can bear. This match her father means to make tonight drives her each moment to despair. He's coming. Let us unite our efforts now, we beg you, and try by strength or skill to change his purpose. Scene Roman 3 Soho. I'm glad to find you all together. To Marian. Here is the contract that shall make you happy, my dear. You know already what it means. On her knees before Ogden. Father, I beg you, in the name of heaven that knows my grief, and by whate'er can move you, relax a little your paternal rights and free my love from this obedience. Oh, do not make me, by your harsh command, complain to heaven you ever were my father. Do not make wretched this poor life you gave me. If, crossing that fond hope which I had formed, you'll not permit me to belong to one whom I have dared to love, at least, I beg you upon my knees, oh, save me from the torment of being possessed by one whom I abhor, and do not drive me to some desperate act by exercising all your rights upon me. A little touched. Come, my heart, be firm. No human weakness. I am not jealous of your love for him. Display it freely. Give him your estate, and if that's not enough, add all of mine. I willingly agree and give it up if only you'll not give him me, your daughter. Oh, rather let a convent's rigid rule wear out the wretched days that heaven allots me. These girls are ninnies, always turning nuns when fathers thwart their silly love affairs. Get on your feet. The more you hate to have him, the more 'twill help you earn your soul's salvation. So, modify your senses by this marriage, and don't vex me about it any more. But what? You hold your tongue before your betters. Don't dare to say a single word, I tell you. If you will let me answer and advise, brother, I value your advice most highly. 'Tis well thought out, no better can be had, but you'll allow me not to follow it. To her husband. I can't find words to cope with such a case. Your blindness makes me quite astounded at you. You are bewitched with him, to disbelieve the things we tell you happened here today. I am your humble servant, and can see things, when they're plain as noses on folks' faces. I know you're partial to my rascal son, and didn't dare to disavow the trick he tried to play on this poor man. Besides, you were too calm to be believed. If that had happened, you'd have been far more disturbed. And must our honor always rush to arms at the mere mention of illicit love? Or can we answer no attack upon it, except with blazing eyes and lips of scorn? For my part, I just laugh away such nonsense. I've no desire to make a loud to-do. Our virtue should, I think, be gentle-natured. Nor can I quite approve those savage prudes whose honor arms itself with teeth and claws to tear men's eyes out at the slightest word. Heaven preserve me from that kind of honor. I like my virtue not to be a vixen, and I believe a quiet, cold rebuff no less effective to repulse a lover. I know, and you can't throw me off the scent. Once more, I am astounded at your weakness. I wonder what your unbelief would answer if I should let you see we've told the truth? See it? Yes, nonsense. Come, if I should find a way to make you see it clear as day, all rubbish. What a man, but answer me. I'm not proposing now that you believe us, but let's suppose that here, from proper hiding, you should be made to see and hear all plainly. What would you say then, to your man of virtue? Why then, I'd say nothing. It can't be. Your error has endured too long already, and quite too long you've branded me a liar. I must at once, for my own satisfaction, make you a witness of the things we've told you. Amen, I take you at your word. We'll see what tricks you have, and how you'll keep your promise. To Doreen, send him to me, to Elmire. The man's a crafty codger, perhaps you'll find it difficult to catch him. To Doreen. Oh no, a lover's never hard to cheat, and self-conceit leads straight to self-deceit. Bid him come down to me, to Cleante and Marion, and you withdraw, seen Roman Fa bring up this table and get under it. What, one essential is to hide you well. Why under there? Oh dear, do as I say, I know what I'm about, as you shall see. Get under now, I tell you, and once there be careful no one either sees or hears you. I'm going a long way to humor you, I must say, but I'll see you through your scheme. And then you'll have, I think, no more to say. To her husband, who is now under the table. But mind, I'm going to meddle with strange matters. Prepare yourself to be in no wise shocked. Whatever I may say must pass, because 'tis only to convince you, as I promised. By wheedling speeches, since I'm forced to do it, I'll make this hypocrite put off his mask, flatter the longings of his shameless passion, and give free play to all his impudence. But since 'tis for your sake, to prove to you his guilt, that I shall feign to share his love, I can leave off as soon as you're convinced, and things shall go no farther than you choose. So when you think they've gone quite far enough, it is for you to stop his mad pursuit, to spare your wife, and not expose me farther than you shall need, yourself, to undeceive you. It is your own affair, and you must end it when here he comes. Keep still, don't show yourself. Scene V, they told me that you wished to see me here. Yes, I have secrets for your ear alone. But shut the door first, and look everywhere for fear of spies. Tartuffe goes and closes the door, and comes back. We surely can't afford another scene like that we had just now. Was ever anyone so caught before? Damies did frighten me most terribly on your account. You saw I did my best to baffle his design, and calm his anger. But I was so confused, I never thought to contradict his story. Still, thank heaven, things turned out all the better as it happened, and now we're on an even safer footing. The high esteem you're held in, laid the storm. My husband can have no suspicion of you, and even insists, to spite the scandalmongers, that we shall be together constantly. So that is how, without the risk of blame, I can be here locked up with you alone, and can reveal to you my heart, perhaps only too ready to allow your passion. Your words are somewhat hard to understand, madam. Just now you used a different style. If that refusal has offended you, how little do you know a woman's heart? How ill you guess what it would have you know, when it presents so feeble a defense. Always, at first, our modesty resists the tender feelings you inspire us with. Whatever cause we find to justify the love that masters us, we still must feel some little shame in owning it, and strive to make as though we would not, when we would. But from the very way we go about it, we let a lover know our heart surrenders, the while our lips, for honor's sake, oppose our heart's desire, and in refusing promise. I'm telling you my secret all too freely, and with too little heed to modesty. But now that I've made bold to speak, pray tell me, should I have tried to keep Damies from speaking? Should I have heard the offer of your heart so quietly, and suffered all your pleading, and taken it just as I did? Remember, if such a declaration had not pleased me, and when I tried my utmost to persuade you not to accept the marriage that was talked of, what should my earnestness have hinted to you if not the interest that you've inspired, and my chagrin? Should such a match compel me to share a heart I want all to myself? 'Tis, past a doubt, the height of happiness, to hear such words from lips we dote upon. Their honeyed sweetness pours through all my senses long draughts of suavity ineffable. My heart employs its utmost zeal to please you, and counts your love its one beatitude. And yet that heart must beg that you allow it to doubt a little its felicity. I well might think these words an honest trick to make me break off this approaching marriage, and if I may express myself quite plainly, I cannot trust these two enchanting words until the granting of some little favor I sigh for shall assure me of their truth and build within my soul, on firm foundations, a lasting faith in your sweet charity. Coughing to draw her husband's attention. What, must you go so fast? And all at once exhaust the whole love of a woman's heart? She does herself the violence to make this dear confession of her love, and you are not yet satisfied, and will not be without the granting of her utmost favors. The less a blessing is deserved, the less we dare to hope for it, and words alone can ill assuage our love's desires. A fate too full of happiness seems doubtful still. We must enjoy it ere we can believe it. And I, who know how little I deserve your goodness, doubt the fortunes of my daring, so I shall trust to nothing, madam, till you have convinced my love by something real. Ah, how your love enacts the tyrant's role, and throws my mind into a strange confusion. With what fierce sway it rules a conquered heart, and violently will have its wishes granted. What, is there no escape from your pursuit? No respite even? Not a breathing space? Nay, is it decent to be so exacting, and so abuse by urgency the weakness you may discover in a woman's heart? But if my worship wins your gracious favor, then why refuse me some sure proof thereof? But how can I consent to what you wish, without offending heaven you talk so much of? If heaven is all that stands now in my way, I'll easily remove that little hindrance. Your heart need not hold back for such a trifle, but they affright us so with heaven's commands. I can dispel these foolish fears, dear madam. I know the art of pacifying scruples heaven forbids, 'tis true, some satisfactions, but we find means to make things right with heaven. 'Tis a scoundrel speaking. Point 5. There is a science, madam, that instructs us how to enlarge the limits of our conscience according to our various occasions, and rectify the evil of the deed according to our purity of motive. I'll duly teach you all these secrets, madam. You only need to let yourself be guided. Content my wishes, have no fear at all, I answer fought, and take the sin upon me. Elmire coughs still louder. Your cough is very bad. Yes, I'm in torture. Would you accept this bit of licorice? The case is obstinate, I find, and all the licorice in the world will do no good. 'Tis very trying, more than words can say. In any case your scruples easily removed. With me you're sure of secrecy, and there's no harm unless a thing is known. The public scandal is what brings offense, and secret sinning is not sin at all. After coughing again. So then, I see I must resolve to yield. I must consent to grant you everything, and cannot hope to give full satisfaction or win full confidence, at lesser cost. No doubt 'tis very hard to come to this, 'tis quite against my will I go so far, but since I must be forced to it, since nothing that can be said suffices for belief, since more convincing proof is still demanded, I must make up my mind to humour people. If my consent give reason for offence, so much the worse for him who forced me to it. The fault can surely not be counted mine. It need not, madam, and the thing itself, open the door, I pray you, and just see whether my husband's not there in the hall. Why take such care for him? Between ourselves, he is a man to lead round by the nose. He's capable of glorying in our meetings. I've fooled him so he'd see all, and deny it. No matter, go, I beg you, look about, and carefully examine every corner. Seen vi crawling out from under the table. That is, I own, a man abominable. I can't get over it, the whole thing flaws me. What, you come out so soon? You cannot mean it. Get back under the table. 'Tis not time yet. Wait till the end to see and make quite certain, and don't believe a thing on mere conjecture. Nothing more wicked e'er came out of hell. Dear me, don't go and credit things too lightly. No, let yourself be thoroughly convinced. Don't yield too soon, for fear you'll be mistaken. As Tartuffe enters, she makes her husband stand behind her. Scene Roman 7. Not seeing Ogden. All things conspire toward my satisfaction, madam. I've searched the whole apartment through. There's no one here, and now my ravished soul, stopping him. Softly, you are too eager in your amours, you needn't be so passionate. Aha, my holy man, you want to put it on me? How is your soul abandoned to temptation? Marry my daughter, eh, and want my wife too? I doubted long enough if this was earnest, expecting all the time the tone would change. But now the proof's been carried far enough, I'm satisfied, and ask no more for my pot. To Tartuffe. 'Twas quite against my character to play this part, but I was forced to treat you so. What, you believe? Come now, no protestations. Get out from here and make no fuss about it, but my intent, that talk is out of season. You leave my house this instant. You're the one to leave it, you who play the master here? This house belongs to me, I'll have you know, and show you plainly it's no use to turn to these low tricks to pick a quarrel with me, and that you can't insult me at your pleasure, for I have wherewith to confound your lies, avenge offended heaven, and compel those to repent who talk to me of leaving. Scene Roman 8. What sort of speech is this? What can it mean? My faith, I'm dazed, this is no laughing matter. What? From his words I see my great mistake. The deed of gift is one thing troubles me. The deed of gift, yes, that is past recall, but I've another thing to make me anxious. What's that? You shall know all. Let's see at once whether a certain box is still upstairs. Act V. Scene I wither away so fast. How should I know? Methinks we should begin by taking counsel to see what can be done to meet the case. I'm all worked up about that wretched box. More than all else it drives me to despair. That box must hide some mighty mystery. Argas, my friend who is in trouble, brought it himself, most secretly, and left it with me. He chose me in his exile for this trust, and on these documents, from what he said, I judge his life and property depend. How could you trust them to another's hands? By reason of a conscientious scruple. I went straight to my traitor to confide in him. His sophistry made me believe that I must give the box to him to keep, so that, in case of search, I might deny my having it at all, and still, by favor of this evasion, keep my conscience clear even in taking oath against the truth. Your case is bad, so far as I can see. This deed of gift, this trusting of the secret to him, were both, to state my frank opinion, steps that you took too lightly. He can lead you to any length with these for hostages, and since he holds you at such disadvantage, you'd be still more imprudent to provoke him, so you must go some gentler way about. What, can a soul so base, a heart so false, hide neath the semblance of such touching fervor? I took him in, a vagabond, a beggar? 'Tis too much? No more pious folk for me. I shall abhor them utterly forever, and henceforth treat them worse than any devil. So, there you go again, quite off the handle? In nothing do you keep an even temper. You never know what reason is, but always jump first to one extreme and then the other. You see your error, and you recognize that you've been cozened by a feigned zeal, but to make up fought in the name of reason, why should you plunge into a worse mistake, and find no difference in character between a worthless scamp and all good people? What? Just because a rascal boldly duped you with pompous show of false austerity, must you needs have it everybody's like him, and no one's truly pious nowadays? Leave such conclusions to mere infidels. Distinguish virtue from its counterfeit. Don't give esteem too quickly, at a venture, but try to keep in this the golden mean. If you can help it, don't uphold imposture, but do not rail at true devoutness either, and if you must fall into one extreme, then rather err again the other way. Scene Roman 2. What, Father, can the scoundrel threaten you, forget the many benefits received, and in his base abominable pride make of your very favors arms against you? Too true, my son. It touches me to think on't. Let me alone, I'll chop his ears off for him. We must deal roundly with his insolence, 'tis I must free you from him at a blow. 'Tis I, to set things right, must strike him down. Spoke like a true young man. Now just calm down and moderate your towering tantrums, will you? We live in such an age with such a king that violence cannot advance our cause. Scene Roman 3. What's this? I hear of fearful mysteries. Strange things indeed for my own eyes to witness. You see how I'm requited for my kindness. I zealously receive a wretched beggar, I lodge him, entertain him like my brother, load him with benefactions every day, give him my daughter, give him all my fortune. And he meanwhile, the villain, rascal, wretch, tries with black treason to sub on my wife, and not content with such a foul design, he dares to menace me with my own favors, and would make use of those advantages which my too foolish kindness armed him with, to ruin me, to take my fortune from me, and leave me in the state I saved him from. Poor man, my son, I cannot possibly believe he could intend so black a deed. What? Worthy men are still the spot of envy. Mother, what do you mean by such a speech? There are strange goings-on about your house, and everybody knows your people hate him. What's that to do with what I tell you now? I always said, my son, when you were little, that virtue here below is hated ever, the envious may die, but envy never. What's that fine speech to do with present facts? Be sure, they've forged 100 silly lies. I've told you once, I saw it all myself. For slanderers abound in calumnies. Mother, you'd make me damn my soul. I tell you I saw with my own eyes his shamelessness. Their tongues for spitting venom never lack, there's nothing here below they'll not attack. Your speech has not a single grain of sense. I saw it, Hockey, saw it, with these eyes I saw. Do you know what saw means? Must I say it 100 times and din it in your ears? My dear, appearances are oft deceiving, and seeing shouldn't always be believing. I'll go mad. False suspicions may delude, and good to evil oft is misconstrued. Must I construe as Christian charity the wish to kiss my wife? You must, at least, have just foundation for accusing people, and wait until you see a thing for sure. The devil? How could I see any surer? Should I have waited till before my eyes No, you'll make me say things quite improper. In short, 'tis known too pure a zeal inflames him, and so, I cannot possibly conceive that he should try to do what's charged against him. If you were not my mother, I should say such things. I know not what, I'm so enraged. To Ogden, fortune has paid you fair, to be so doubted. You flouted our report, now yours is flouted. We're wasting time here in the merest trifling, which we should rather use in taking measures to guard ourselves against the scoundrel's threats. You think his impudence could go far. For one, I can't believe it possible. Why, his ingratitude would be too patent. Don't trust to that. He'll find abundant warrant to give good color to his acts against you, and for less cause than this, a strong cabal can make one's life a labyrinth of troubles. I tell you once again, armed as he is, you never should have pushed him quite so far. True, yet what could I do? The rascal's pride made me lose all control of my resentment. I wish with all my heart that some pretense of peace could be patched up between you two if I had known what weapons he was armed with. I never should have raised such an alarm, and to Doreen, seeing Mr. Loyal come in. Who's coming now? Go quick, find out. I'm in a fine state to receive a visit. Scene Roman 4 to Doreen at the back of the stage. good day, good sister. Pray you let me see the master of the house. He's occupied. I think he can see nobody at present. I'm not by way of being unwelcome here. My coming can, I think, nowise displease him. My errand will be found to his advantage. Your name, then? Tell him simply that his friend Mr. Tartuffe has sent me for his goods to Ogden. It is a man who comes with civil manners, sent by Tartuffe, he says, upon an errand that you'll be pleased with. To Ogden, surely you must see him and find out who he is and what he wants. To Cleante, perhaps he's come to make it up between us. How shall I treat him? You must not get angry, and if he talks of reconciliation, accept it. To Ogden, sir, good day, and heaven send harm to your enemies, favor to you. Aside to Cleante. This mild beginning suits with my conjectures and promises some compromise already. All of your house has long been dear to me. I had the honor, sir, to serve your father. Sir, I am much ashamed, and ask your pardon for not recalling now your face or name. My name is Loyal. I'm from Normandy. My office is court bailiff in despite of envy, and for 40 years, thank heaven, it's been my fortune to perform that office with honor. So I've come, sir, by your leave to render service of a certain writ. What you are here to, pray, sir, don't be angry. 'Tis nothing, sir, but just a little summons. Order to vacate, you and yours, this house, move out your furniture, make room for others, and that without delay or putting off, as needs must be. Leave this house? Yes, please, sir, the house is now, as you well know, of course, Mr. Tartuffe's, and he, beyond dispute of all your goods, is henceforth lord and master by virtue of a contract here attached, drawn in due form, and unassailable. To Mr. Loyal, your insolence is monstrous and astounding. To Damies, I have no business, sir, that touches you, pointing to Ogden. This is the gentleman. He's fair and courteous, and knows too well a gentleman's behavior to wish in any wise to question justice. But, sir, I know you would not for a million wish to rebel. Like a good citizen, you'll let me put in force the court's decree. Your long black gown may well, before you know it, Mr. Court Bailiff, get a thorough beating. To Ogden, sir, make your son be silent or withdraw. I should be loath to have to set things down and see your names inscribed in my report. Aside, this Mr. Loyal's looks are most disloyal. I have much feeling for respectable and honest folk like you, sir, and consented to serve these papers, only to oblige you, and thus prevent the choice of any other who, less possessed of zeal for you than I am, might order matters in less gentle fashion. And how could one do worse than order people out of their house? Why, we allow you time, and even will suspend until tomorrow the execution of the order, sir. I'll merely, without scandal, quietly come here and spend the night with half a score of officers, and just for form's sake, please, you'll bring your keys to me before retiring. I will take care not to disturb your rest and see there's no unseemly conduct here. But by tomorrow, and at early morning, you must make haste to move your least belongings. My men will help you. I have chosen strong ones to serve you, sir, in clearing out the house. No one could act more generously, I fancy, and, since I'm treating you with great indulgence, I beg you'll do as well by me, and see I'm not disturbed in my discharge of duty. I'd give this very minute, and not grudge it, the 100 best gold louis I have left, if I could just indulge myself, and land my fist, for one good square one, on his snout. Aside to Ogden, careful, don't make things worse. Such insolence, I hardly can restrain myself. My hands are itching to be at him. By my faith, with such a fine broad back, good Mr. Loyal, a little beating would become you well. My girl, such infamous words are actionable, and warrants can be issued against women. To Mr. Loyal, enough of this discussion, sir, have done. Give us the paper and then leave us, pray. Then au revoir, heaven keep you from disaster. May heaven confound you both, you and your master. Scene V well, mother, am I right or am I not? This writ may help you now to judge the matter. Ah, don't you see his treason even yet? I'm all amazed, befuddled, and beflustered. To Ogden, you are quite wrong, you have no right to blame him. This action only proves his good intentions. Love for his neighbor makes his virtue perfect, and knowing money is a root of evil, in Christian charity, he'd take away whatever things may hinder your salvation. Be still, you always need to have that told you. To Ogden, come, let us see what course you are to follow. Go and expose his bold ingratitude. Such action must invalidate the contract. His perfidy must now appear too black to bring him the success that he expects. Scene vi 'tis with regret, sir, that I bring bad news, but urgent danger forces me to do so. A close and intimate friend of mine, who knows the interest I take in what concerns you, has gone so far, for my sake, as to break the secrecy that's due to state affairs, and sent me word but now. That leaves you only the one expedient of sudden flight. The villain who so long imposed upon you, found means, an hour ago, to see the prince, and to accuse you, among other things, by putting in his hands the private strongbox of a state criminal, whose guilty secret you, failing in your duty as a subject, he says, have kept. I know no more of it save that a warrant's drawn against you, sir, and for the greatest surety, that same rascal comes with the officer who must arrest you. His rights are armed, and this is how the scoundrel seeks to secure the property he claims. Man is a wicked animal, I'll own it. The least delay may still be fatal, sir. I have my carriage and 1,000 louis provided for your journey at the door. Let's lose no time. The bolt is swift to strike, and such as only flight can save you from. I'll be your guide to seek a place of safety, and stay with you until you reach it, sir. How much I owe to your obliging care. Another time must serve to thank you fitly, and I pray heaven to grant me so much favor that I may some day recompense your service. Goodbye, see to it, all of you, come hurry. We'll see to everything that's needful, brother. Scene Roman 7, stopping organ. Softly, sir, softly, do not run so fast, you haven't far to go to find your lodging. By order of the prince, we here arrest you. Traitor? You saved this worst stroke for the last. This crowns your perfidies, and ruins me. I shall not be embittered by your insults, for heaven has taught me to endure all things. Your moderation, I must own, is great. How shamelessly the wretch makes bold with heaven? Your ravings cannot move me. All my thought is but to do my duty. You must claim great glory from this honorable act. The act cannot be aught but honorable, coming from that high power which sends me here. Ungrateful wretch, do you forget 'twas I that rescued you from utter misery? I've not forgot some help you may have given, but my first duty now is toward my prince. The higher power of that most sacred claim must stifle in my heart all gratitude, and to such puissant ties I'd sacrifice my friend, my wife, my kindred, and myself. The hypocrite? How well he knows the trick of cloaking him with what we most revere. But if the motive that you make parade of is perfect as you say, why should it wait to show itself, until the day he caught you soliciting his wife? How happens it you have not thought to go inform against him, until his honor forces him to drive you out of his house? And though I need not mention that he'd just given you his whole estate, still, if you meant to treat him now as guilty, how could you then consent to take his gift? To the officer. Pray, sir, deliver me from all this clamor. Be good enough to carry out your order. Yes, I've too long delayed its execution. 'Tis very fitting you should urge me to it, so therefore, you must follow me at once to prison, where you'll find your lodging ready. Who? I, sir? You, by why to prison? You are not the one to whom I owe account, you, sir, to organ. Recover from your hot alarm. Our prince is not a friend to double-dealing. His eyes can read men's inmost hearts, and all the art of hypocrites cannot deceive him. His sharp discernment sees things clear and true. His mind cannot too easily be swayed, for reason always holds the balance even. He honors and exalts true piety, but knows the false and views it with disgust. This fellow was by no means apt to fool him. Far subtlest snares have failed against his wisdom, and his quick insight pierced immediately the hidden baseness of this tortuous heart. Accusing you, the knave betrayed himself, and by true recompense of heaven's justice, he stood revealed before our monarch's eyes a scoundrel known before by other names, whose horrid crimes, detailed at length, might fill a long-drawn history of many volumes. Our monarch, to resolve you in a word, detesting his ingratitude and baseness, added this horror to his other crimes, and sent me hither under his direction to see his insolence outtop itself, and force him then to give you satisfaction. Your papers, which the traitor says are his, I am to take from him, and give you back. The deed of gift transferring your estate our monarch's sovereign will makes null and void. And for the secret personal offense your friend involved you in, he pardons you. Thus he rewards your recent zeal, displayed in helping to maintain his rights, and shows how well his heart, when it is least expected, knows how to recompense a noble deed, and will not let true merit miss its due, remembering always rather good than evil. Now heaven be praised. At last I breathe again. A happy outcome, who'd have dared to hope it? To Tartuffe, who is being led by the officer. The traitor? Now your scene Romanate brother hold, and don't descend to such indignities, I beg you. Leave the poor wretch to his unhappy fate, and let remorse oppress him, but not you. Hope rather that his heart may now return to virtue, hate his vice, reform his ways, and win the pardon of our glorious prince, while you must straightway go, and on your knees repay with thanks his noble generous kindness. Well said. We'll go, and at his feet kneel down, with joy to thank him for his goodness shown, and this first duty done, with honours due, will then attend upon another too. With wedded happiness reward valor, and crown a love noble and sincere. Colophon Tartuffe was published in 1669 by Molière. It was translated from French in 1908 by Curtis Hidden Page. This ebook was produced for Standard eBooks by B. Timothy Keith, and is based on a transcription produced in 2000 by Dagny, John Vickers, and distributed proofreaders for Project Gutenberg, and on digital scans from the Hathai Trust Digital Library. The cover page is adapted from The Gentleman in the Shop, a painting completed in 1660 by an unknown artist. The cover and title pages feature the League Spartan and Sots Mill Gaudi typefaces created in 2014 and 2009 by the League of Movable Type. This edition was released on July 14, 2025, 8:38 p.m., and is based on revision AC4E2FD. The first edition of this ebook was released on July 15, 2021, 7:16 p.m. You can check for updates to this ebook, view its revision history, or download it for different e-reading systems at standardbooksog/ebooks/Molière/Tartuffe/Curtis Hidden Page. The volunteer-driven Standard eBooks project relies on readers like you to submit typos, corrections, and other improvements. Anyone can contribute at Standard Booksorg. Dramatis Personae Madame Purnell, mother of Augen, husband of Elmire, wife of Augen Damies, son of Augen Marion, daughter of Augen, in love with Vala, in love with Marion Cleante, brother-in-law of Augen Tartuffe. A hypocrite Doreen, Marion's maid Mr. Loyal, a bailiff, a police officer Flipot, Madame Purnell's servant. The scene is at Paris. And notes referring to the rebellion called La Fronde, during the minority of Louis Roman XIV. Write Molière's note, inserted in the text of all the old editions. It is a curious illustration of the desire for uniformity and dignity of style in dramatic verse of the 17th century that Molière feels called on to apologize for a touch of realism like this. Indeed, these lines were even omitted when the play was given. Right is given at the Comédie Francaise. The action is as follows. While Augen says, "You must approve of my design," Doreen is making signs to Marion to resist his orders. Augen turns around suddenly, but Doreen quickly changes her gesture, and with the hand which she had lifted calmly, arranges her hair and her cap. Augen goes on, "Think of the husband," and stops before the middle of his sentence to turn and catch the beginning of Doreen's gesture. But he is too quick this time, and Doreen stands looking at his furious countenance with a sweet and gentle expression. He turns and goes on, and the obstinate Doreen again lifts her hand behind his shoulder to urge Marion to resistance. This time he catches her. But just as he swings his shoulder to give her the promised blow, she stops him by changing the intent of her gesture, and carefully picking from the top of his sleeve a bit of fluff which she holds carefully between her fingers, then blows into the air and watches intently as it floats away. Augen is paralyzed by her innocence of expression and compelled to hide his rage. Regnier, La Tartuffe des Comédiens. Right, some modern editions have adopted the reading, preserved by tradition as that of the earliest stage version, "Heaven, forgive him even as I forgive him." Voltaire gives still another reading, "Heaven, forgive me even as I forgive him." Whichever was the original version, it appears in none of the early editions, and Molière probably felt forced to change it on account of its too close resemblance to the biblical phrase. Write Molière's note in the original edition. Right, Tartuffe, or the hypocrite,